Let me ask you something the night after the peak. When you finally reach a high point, a good day, an achievement, a moment of feeling fully alive, what happens in you as it starts to pass? Do you let it move through you gracefully, or do you clutch at it, already grieving it, trying to freeze the moment before it slips? Most of us clutch. We reach a peak and immediately start bracing against its ending, and in doing so, we miss the quiet beauty of what comes next. Tonight, the sky is right at that turning point. The moon is still almost completely full, July 30th, 2026, about 99% lit, still radiant in Leo, but she is just, in the last day, past her peak. She is full, and she has begun, ever so slightly, to wane. The great in-breath of the cycle is over. Tonight is the first exhale, and there is a whole teaching in that turn if we don't rush past it. This is your moon letter for the first exhale. Let's open it. Look up tonight, and she still looks full, 99% lit, luminous, almost indistinguishable from last night's perfect peak. But something has quietly shifted. If you looked closely, along one edge, the faintest sliver of shadow has returned, the first hint that she has crested and begun the long, gentle journey back toward dark. She is, as of today, waning. And here is what's beautiful about how the moon does this. She doesn't cling. She reaches her absolute peak, holds it for a breath, and then, without drama, without grief, without trying to freeze the moment, she begins to let the light go, exactly as gracefully as she gathered it. She spent 2 weeks breathing in, growing fuller each night. Now, she simply begins to breathe out. And she is no less the moon for it. The waning isn't a failure or a fall. It's the other half of the same rhythm that made her full in the first place.
In, out, fee,
release. The moon knows what we so often forget, that you were never meant to stay at the peak. The peak is a turning point, not a permanent address. And the exhale is not the end of the breath. It's the completion of it. The energy tonight is the turn, the subtle but real shift from filling to releasing, from shining to softening. The moon is still in Leo, so the warmth of the last few nights is still here, but its character changes tonight. 4 days, Leo has been about expression, radiance, being fully seen. Tonight, just past the peak, Leo softens into something gentler. The ease that comes after you've been seen, the exhale after the performance, the moment you get to stop being on. Because being at your peak, however wonderful, takes energy. Being fully lit, fully seen, fully expressed, it's glorious, and it's also effortful, and you were never meant to sustain it forever. Tonight, the sky gives you permission to let that effort go. You don't have to keep shining at full intensity now. You don't have to hold the peak in place by sheer will. The Leo warmth remains, but it settles from a blaze into a glow, and a glow is something you can rest in. Tonight's energy isn't decline. It's relief. It's the deep, easy breath out after a long breath in. In human design, the sun is in gate 31, the gate of influence, and tonight it's the 6th line, the final line, which is all about perspective. The 6th line is sometimes called the role model, and its deepest gesture is to climb up onto the roof and look at the whole thing from above, to step back, gain altitude, and see the pattern rather than being lost in the moment. And that's exactly the right energy for the night after the peak. Because when you're at the peak, you're inside it, fully immersed, fully lit, unable to see the shape of it. It's only as you begin to step back, as the intensity eases, that you can actually see what the peak was, what it gave you, what it meant. The 6th line invites you tonight to climb up onto the roof and look back at your own full moon, the whole arc of this cycle, the growth, the fullness, the being seen, and take it in with perspective rather than clinging to it. There's a wisdom that only becomes available on the way down from a peak, never at the top. Gate 31, 6th line, offers it tonight. Step back, breathe out, and let the meaning of the peak come into view precisely because you're no longer standing in the middle of it. So let's talk about why this turn, the moment just after any peak, matters so much more than we usually let it. Our culture is obsessed with peaks. Reach the summit, hit the high note, get to the top, and stay there. We treat the peak as the destination and everything after it as decline, loss, downhill. But that's not how anything alive actually works. Everything that lives, breathes, in and out, fill and empty, rise and fall. Your lungs don't hold the in-breath forever and call the exhale a failure. Your heart doesn't clench permanently and consider the release a defeat. The tide doesn't reach its highest point and grieve as it turns. In and out is the rhythm of everything, and the exhale is not the opposite of life. It's half of it. So the first reason the turn matters is simply this. Nothing stays at its peak, and fighting that truth only makes you suffer. The second reason is subtler. When we cling to a peak, when we try to freeze the good moment and refuse to let it pass, we actually poison it. The clinging turns the fullness into fear of loss. We stop enjoying the height because we're too busy dreading the descent. The person who can't let a wonderful evening end never fully has the evening. They spend it mourning its future ending. But the person who lets the peak be a peak and then lets it turn gets to keep the whole of it. And the third reason is the most important. The turn is where integration begins. The peak shows you something, a fullness, a truth, a vision of who you can be. But it's in the coming down, the exhale, the quieter days after, that the peak actually gets woven into your life. You can't integrate anything while you're still straining to stay on the summit. The turn isn't the loss of the peak. It's the beginning of the peak becoming part of you. But here's the fear that makes the exhale so hard, and we have to meet it honestly. The fear that letting go means losing. That if we stop holding on, stop striving, stop keeping the peak in place, we'll lose what we gained. It feels, at a gut level, as though release equals erasure. But watch the moon, because she disproves it every single month. Tonight, she begins to release her light, and she does not stop being the moon. She loses lumens. She loses nothing of herself. Everything essential about her remains completely intact as the light recedes. And your life works the same way, though fear insists otherwise. When you let a peak pass, you don't lose what it made you. You keep what you became. The growth, the healing, the widened sense of what's possible, the memory of having been fully seen. What you set down is only the effort of holding it, the strain of keeping yourself at maximum intensity. Those are two completely different things, and fear blurs them together. Letting go of the effort is not letting go of the gain. And there's a deeper reassurance here. 2. What is truly yours does not leave when you stop gripping it. The love that's real doesn't vanish when you relax your grip on it. The growth that's genuine doesn't reverse the moment you stop straining. The peak you actually reached is now part of your history, permanently. No waning takes that away. So the exhale asks you to trust something the moon demonstrates every month, that you can release the light and remain entirely yourself. You can let the peak pass and keep everything it gave you. Losing and letting go were never the same thing. So, how do you actually take this first exhale tonight, gently and without forcing? 3 soft moves. First, notice where you're gripping. Somewhere in your life right now, you're probably clutching at a peak that wants to turn, holding on to a moment, an intensity, a version of things, and quietly exhausting yourself trying to keep it from passing. It might be a literal high point you don't want to end, or just the general strain of trying to keep everything at maximum. Just notice the grip. Feel where you're holding on. Second, name one thing you're ready to gently set down. Not everything. The exhale is soft, not a purge. Just one thing. One bit of effort you can stop making, one worry you can release now that the peak is past, one way you've been keeping yourself on that you're allowed to let soften. Name it so the release has somewhere to land. And third, the actual physical heart of it. Take a real exhale. Breathe in fully, the way the moon spent 2 weeks breathing in. And then let it go, slowly, completely, longer than feels natural, the way she's beginning to let her light go tonight. And as you exhale, let the one thing you named go with it. Let your shoulders drop. Let the effort ease. Let yourself stop holding the peak in place by sheer will and trust the cycle to keep turning without your grip on it. That's the whole practice tonight. Not a dramatic release, not throwing anything away, just one honest breath out and the quiet trust that letting the peak turn is not losing it, it's letting it become part of you. Here is your ritual for the first exhale, and it is the softest one of the whole cycle, fitting for the night the moon begins to breathe out. When the evening settles, step outside and find her. The just past full moon, still almost completely bright, but turning now, the faintest shadow returned to one edge. Stand with her a moment and feel the cycle turn. The great in-breath of the last 2 weeks complete, the long exhale just beginning. Then bring to mind the peak you've been at, whatever it's been, a little high point or just the effort of being fully on and fully seen these last days. And gently sort it into two, what you keep and what you can release. Say it out loud. I keep what I became. I set down the effort of holding it. Then take one long, deliberate breath in full, like the moon at her peak. Hold it for just a moment. And let it out, slowly, all the way, longer than feels comfortable, and let one thing go with it. The strain, the gripping, the fear of the peak passing. Feel it leave on the breath. And finally, say the sentence that turns the whole fear around. I don't have to hold the peak to keep what it gave me. Say it and mean it, and let your whole body exhale into it. The cycle is turning exactly as it should. You don't have to hold it in place. You only have to breathe out and trust it to keep going. So, let this be the letter you keep from tonight. After every peak comes the exhale, and letting go is not losing. It's how the next thing begins. The moon reaches her fullness and then, without grief or clinging, begins to breathe the light back out, and she loses not one bit of herself in the releasing. She knows what we forget, that you were never meant to stay at the peak, that the exhale is not the opposite of the fullness, but the completion of it. What you release tonight is only the effort of holding on. What you became, the growth, the fullness, the having been fully seen, stays permanently whether you grip it or not. So notice where you're clutching, name one thing you can set down, and take the long breath out. Let the peak turn into part of you. The cycle is breathing exactly as it should. Tonight, you're simply allowed to exhale. Thank you for exhaling tonight, for letting the peak turn instead of clutching it. A new letter from the sky arrives every single day, and as the moon keeps softening past full, tomorrow we'll talk about turning inward, the quiet retreat that comes after being fully seen. Until then, keep breathing out, keep what you became, and walk gently.